You're making $80,000 a year. Decent, right? You've been responsible. You've saved. Then, at midnight on a Tuesday, you open a real estate site and see that any house that isn't literally falling apart costs at least $450,000. Laminate countertops from the early 2000s. Carpet in that specific shade of beige that screams, "We stopped caring about this house back in '97. Fake wood paneling in the basement, and the agent has the audacity to call it a starter home. The bank says, "You're approved." Your parents are asking when the housewarming is. But there's one problem. You can't afford it. Not really. Not in a way that doesn't turn your life into a financial nightmare for the next decade. And no one in the selling process has any incentive to tell you the truth. My name is Marcus. Before we start, a disclaimer. I'm not a financial advisor. This is educational content. Today we're going to do something the real estate industry hates. We'll calculate what house you can actually afford. Let's start with some uncomfortable reality. The median household income is $83,730. Sounds good, right? Solid middle class. But the median home price is around $415,000. We're asking people making $84,000 to afford homes 5 times their annual income. And everyone says it's fine. The broker approves you, friends are buying. So, what's your problem? The problem is everyone is lying about what affordable actually means. There's the 28% rule for housing costs. Banks have a different number, 43%. And that difference is critical. The bank's job is to make sure you don't default immediately. They don't care if you're miserable or can't buy groceries. 43% isn't a recommendation. It's the maximum level of financial stress. Let's talk numbers. There's a $52,000 income gap between what the bank says you can afford and what you actually can without a catastrophe. And that's where the suffering begins. Let's say you buy a $400,000 house. You've saved a 10% down payment, 40 grand. Your mortgage payment is $2,150. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Now add property taxes. On average, that's another $450 a month. Then insurance. Thanks to climate change, it's getting more expensive everywhere. Add another $300 every month forever. Because you didn't put 20% down, you've got PMI, a fee for not being wealthy enough. That's another $275. Then add $333 for maintenance. Because in a house, something always breaks. Total. The real cost of owning this house is $3,508 a month, not $2,150. That $1,500 difference is what destroys your budget. To comfortably afford this house, you need to make $150,000 a year, but the bank will approve you with just $98,000. See the problem? It's a trap for 80% of Americans. Let's look at what this looks like in real life. A household making $80,000 buys a $400,000 house. After taxes and the mortgage, they have just $1,476 left for everything else. For food, gas, clothes, and insurance. The bank said you could afford this. The math says no. Every little thing becomes a crisis. Car breaks? That's $800 on a credit card. HVAC dies? That's $5,000 in debt. This is what being house poor means. Technically, you own it, but you can't afford to live in it, maintain it, or enjoy it. You're just transferring your paycheck to the bank. When housing eats up nearly 48% of your gross income, your budget isn't just stretched, it's broken. You have no room for error. You're living in a beautiful box that is slowly drowning you. The irony is, everyone around you will be smiling. The realtor, the banker, your parents. None of them will tell you you're making a mistake because their interests don't align with your financial peace. This is what comfortable looks like. A household earning $200,000 buys that same $500,000 house. Their housing costs are just 22.6%. After everything, they still have $2,500 for retirement and $500 for an emergency fund. But $500,000 buys you completely different realities. In San Francisco, it's a 600 square foot studio with noisy neighbors. In Cleveland, it's a luxury historic home with a massive yard. The housing market isn't broken uniformly. It's broken in different ways depending on your zip code. And the terrifying part, You need to be in the top 10% of earners just to afford an average house. Your parents bought a house in a different economic universe. In 1980, a house cost 3 times the annual income. Today, it's 5. They bought on a single income while one parent stayed home. Today, you need 2, and you're still stretched. The median age of a first-time buyer has risen from 28 in 1991 to 40 today. The average American is now 40 before they can afford their first home, and increasingly, they only do it with an inheritance. The mortgage is just the beginning. Recent studies show hidden annual costs hit $21,400. That's nearly $1,800 a month for maintenance, utilities, and taxes that nobody told you about. Everything breaks. Water heaters die in 10 years. That's $2,500. Roofs fail in 25. Get 30,000 ready. These aren't ifs. They are whens. Insurance has become its own crisis. Premiums have risen 48% since 2020. In Florida, people are paying $15,000 a year just for insurance. Climate change is hitting your wallet right now. Property taxes are another silent killer. In New Jersey, you'll pay nearly $10,000 a year for a median home. Texas has no income tax, but property taxes will eat $600 a month. And they go up forever. Your other debts destroy your buying power. The average car payment is $748. Every $250 in monthly debt reduces your mortgage qualification by $40,000. You're disqualifying yourself. Saving for a down payment is like trying to catch a bus that's constantly accelerating. While you're tucking away $1,000 a month, home prices are rising 3 to 5% a year. The target is simply running away from you. Waiting for a crash, it's not happening. Every major forecaster, Zillow, Redfin, Fannie Mae, is projecting growth in 2026. The market won't crash because there's no reason for it to. 81% of mortgage holders have rates below 6%. They aren't selling. If they sell, they have to buy another house at current prices with a high mortgage. They are locked in. Today, renting is cheaper than buying in all 50 major metros. In San Francisco, buying costs 191% more than renting. Renting today is the mathematically rational choice. If you're making less than $140,000 and looking at a $500,000 house, stop. I don't care what the broker or the realtor says. The math is screaming at you. You cannot afford it. You have options. First, move. If you're trying to buy in San Francisco on $100,000 a year, you're fighting a losing battle. In Pittsburgh or Cleveland, that same money buys you a dignified life. Option 2, house hacking. Buy a duplex, live in one unit, rent the other. It's not glamorous, you'll have neighbors sharing a wall, but your mortgage will be paid by someone else's money. Or you just wait. Keep renting and save aggressively. There is no prize for buying a house you can't afford. There is no medal for being a homeowner if you're broke because of it. The system failed you. Prices outpaced wages. But you don't have to fail yourself. Having the courage to say, now is not the time, that is true financial intelligence. Your salary buys you a lot less house than you thought. And realizing this is the most valuable lesson you can learn today. The math doesn't lie. Your parents will ask, when are you buying? Your friends will brag about their keys. In this moment, your no is the most difficult and most important investment of your life. Freedom isn't walls. Freedom is when you wake up on a Monday and don't feel obligated to work yourself to death just to pay for the right to a roof over your head. The bank sees you as a number in a spreadsheet. I want you to see yourself as a strategist. Walking away from a bad deal isn't a defeat. It's a victory over a system that wanted to consume you. Liquidity is your shield. While others are locked in their homes with a 43% debt load, you are mobile. You can change cities, jobs, or start a business because the house doesn't have you by the throat. The market will change, rates will drop, or incomes will rise. No, by that time, you'll be ready not because you got lucky, but because you know how to do the math, and you know how to wait. Remember, a house isn't always an asset. Sometimes it's just a very expensive liability disguised as an achievement. Don't let social pressure dictate your budget. True affordability isn't when the bank says yes. It's when your bills are paid, your emergency fund is full, and you sleep soundly knowing your house won't steal your future. Your salary buys you less than you thought, but your understanding of math gives you more power than any loan. Choose reality over a Zillow listing. Ultimately, you're not losing if you wait. You're winning time. And time is the only asset you can never refinance. The math doesn't lie, it just tells the truth you're ready to hear. Now you know, now you're free.